Welcome to A Double
Double
and Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 83 of A Double and Dice, and today something sinister is coming your way. But before we get to that, we actually have our poll results from our 3-year anniversary.
Yay!
Yay!
The 3-year anniversary poll that we put out super late, but we want to thank all of the hundreds of people that completed this poll.
Totally.
Yeah, no, we
Thank
actually
you,
did have
100 people.
quite a few responses. So in episode 80 was our anniversary episode. And we have a couple of things that happened in episode 80. We had our episode poll that we talked about but didn't actually put out for a while. And then we also had our happy anniversary
Game.
quiz
Yeah.
game. Yeah. So where do you want to start, Kim? You want to start with the poll?
Yeah, let's start with the polls. Let's remind people what we, they can go listen.
They can go
Come
listen,
back.
but high level.
Yeah.
What we did was there were 3 new sets released while we were podcasting, since we started podcasting in early 2020. And we each picked our favorite cards from each of those sets, from like character and or I guess we didn't pick any non-basic actions. And then we also did our basic action cards. So what we did for the poll was we took our favorite basic action cards from all 3 sets, put those all up against each other, and got you guys to vote. All of you folks out there voted on what the best basic action card is based on the responses we provided. And then from there, we added in, there was a section for the best Infinity Gauntlet card, the best Dark Phoenix Saga card, and the best Superman Kryptonite Crisis card based on our picks. Right?
Right.
So, let's start with the best Superman Kryptonite Crisis card. So there were
you want to start with the beginning one first?
No, I'm going to start with the last set and work backwards.
Okay.
So for Superman Kryptonite Crisis, we had four cards in the running. There was Mary Shazam, World War III. There was Harley Quinn, Vengeance Unlimited. There was Harley Quinn, Gang of Harleys. And there was Bizarro, Enhanced Kryptonite Intelligence. Those were the cards that we had picked as our favorites from this set. By a landslide, with 50% of the vote, Harley Quinn, Gang of Harleys won that particular one. In second place, there was Mary Shazam, World War III, with 25% of the vote. So those 2 cards took up 75% of what was out there. So Harley Quinn, Gang of Harleys is the super rare, and it's the one that says, while Harley Quinn is active, your sidekick dice get +1 attack, +1 defense, and when fielded, deal 2 damage to target character die. Which I actually used when we were playing at the local game store last night, Kim.
Yes.
So it is a really good card. So would you like to do Dark Phoenix, Kim?
Sure. I'm surprised you didn't give me Kryptonite.
I didn't think about that until after I started talking.
So for not for Kryptonite. See, look, I thought I was going to do it. For Dark Phoenix, we both had, in the running was Colossus, Piotr. We both had Master Mold, Endless Sentinels, and I believe you had Jubilee, X-Men Field Leader.
That's right.
And by 55%, again, probably no surprise here, it was Master Mold, Endless Sentinels.
Yeah, 100%.
And then coming in second, very close, was Colossus, Piotr, at 25%, and then Jubilee wasn't far behind at 20%.
I am surprised by the second and third place ranking, to be honest.
I thought maybe Piotr wouldn't have been that close to Jubilee, but
I thought that Jubilee would go ahead of Colossus. I thought Colossus would be in third place because he's really cool and all, but there's so many ways to spin or re-roll dice in the meta that I didn't think Colossus would be would be up there with 25%. But there's also, I think, the nostalgia factor with that card, because it was basically a reprint of an AVX card, except it cost 1 less now.
Yep.
Right? 6 costs instead of 7. So,
but I
all
hardly
right.
see Jubilee honestly being played.
Well, that's just
I
because
hardly
Thor is
see
better.
it hit the table. Maybe, yeah.
Like Thor is just materially better.
Yeah.
And Harley, which is in a similar vein, although only works with sidekicks, is just kind of cool, right? She's a little bit more exciting right now. I think with Jubilee, the thing with Jubilee is that because it's 1 damage and 1 damage, so Jubilee is we didn't say what these cards did. Jubilee is, while she's active, when you field a character die, deal 1 damage to target character die and 1 damage to target opponent, and the Mystique uncommon just immediately shuts that down. And again, it's the whole keeping her active and having to spin her through, and her fielding cost is a 2. It's a 0-1-2, so she always rolls on the 2 fielding cost, and then you struggle. Colossus Piotr, of course, as we mentioned, is a reprint from AVX, which is while he's active at the end of your turn, all of your level 2 and 3 character dice deal your opponent 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Master Mold, of course, is when you field him, when he attacks, and when he's KO'd, he fields a 5D Sentinel token to just overwhelm you with an army of Sentinels.
That's what he does.
This is why he took the overwhelming 55% of the vote. So, okay. Infinity Gauntlet. The first set, the absolute pandemic set, the set that was released in 2020, delayed, and then finally arrived in August/September of that year. And we had 4 cards in the running here. So there was Nebula Space Pirate. There was The Spot Phase Shift. There was Spider-Man Public Menace. And Angela as Guardian of the Galaxy. So Kim, I'm just going to apologize to you now. Because
my cards are not competitive. That's why.
You picked Master Mold.
Yeah, it's true. But my other ones.
So, yeah, I mean, Nebula Space Pirate had a moment before the rotation happened, because she had come out, and then you had the Atom, and you had whatever card it was that allowed you to spin dice up and down. I don't remember what the basic action was. Was it Mutation with that global?
Yeah.
Anyway, you had the spin down and spin up, and you have the Atom that does that, which is the Awaken ability, and then you have Nebula that does it. And if you could get the 2 of them going at the same time, it was really awesome. Like, I definitely played around with that. It was a lot of fun. The Spot, I can't remember which one that is. The Phase Shift one?
Oh, it's the one. It's the energized one that can't be blocked.
Yeah. Which is a really good one. So that's really good. But I'm sure to no one's surprise, Spider-Man Public Menace took 75% of the vote. Hashtag Rare Spider-Man Forever. 75% of those that answered the survey felt that he was the number 1 card out of Infinity Gauntlet. And in second place, or based on the cards that we had picked, in second place was Angela as Guardian of the Galaxy with 15%. And that leaves, what does that leave? That leaves like 10% of the vote between Nebula and The Spot. But they each got votes.
About that. That's true.
Yeah.
A vote.
Each got votes.
The pity vote, we understand. It's okay.
There was a handful of votes. Some people said that they liked those cards. They are good cards. So yes, so that is that. And Kim, you get to do the last one,
the best modern basic action card. What do we have here? 8 to choose from. So there was True Believer, Mutation, Investigative Journalism, Nefarious Broadcast, Radicalization, Tight Ranks, Call to Action, and Arctic Breath. Do I need to go through all these, what they do?
No, we'll just talk about the one that won.
All right. So the one that won, 45%. It's a little bit of a spread, I guess. 45% was investigative journalism.
Yeah. Yeah, and investigative journalism is the 5-cost basic action that nobody wanted to play with. And then when I talked about how awesome it was, people started playing with it. No, it wasn't because of me, I'm sure. Draw 4 dice, roll up to 3 of them, prep the remainder. So you get that early. You start ramping like crazy. You're rolling or you're prepping, depending on what you need to do, and it just keeps coming around. And if it keeps rolling, things are really awesome. So yes, you've got to invest that 5, but you definitely get the value for it. So I think all of those people that said that was the best card, the best basic action, they are correct.
And coming in second was 20% was mutation. That's the spin up, spin down. With the global, I don't think anybody actually buys it, do they?
No, absolutely buy it, because mutation allows you to swap a die in the field zone with a die in the use pile, and it doesn't have to be your own. You can swap your opponent's stuff.
Yep.
So you can add mutation is absolutely a really good basic action. Like the global is good, but the basic action itself, it's a 3-cost, is really good tech. Yeah.
And then tied for third at 15% was Nefira's Broadcast, which shuts down globals for the turn.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And tied with Arctic Breath, which I can't remember what Arctic Breath does.
Arctic
I think
Breath
it's the stun token
tokens.
One. Yes. Yeah. And you deal a damage, right? I believe.
Arctic Breath is deal 1 damage to target character die, put a stun token on a different target character die's card, and then it has a global fist. Target character die gets +1 attack.
And it looks like maybe one was voted for, it doesn't say the percentage, but one was voted for call to action.
Yeah, well, there's not much percentage left there.
Yeah. So, and then nothing else for the tight ranks or radicalization or true believer.
I mean, true believer is underrated. I'm just putting that out there. So, but yeah,
people have spoken.
The people have spoken, and the people have listened to our podcast and or read our poll on the internet and made their votes based on what we had provided them.
Yeah,
and we appreciate that. So thank you.
And because of a thank you,
yes,
for them doing the anniversary poll,
they did.
We had a prize for them, didn't we?
We do. A super awesome anniversary prize.
The mystery super awesome anniversary prize.
Which it still is. It is still a mystery. Yes. However, Kim, you are going to randomly generate a number for me.
Yes. And I'm going to roll for this. I'm rolling a die.
Roll it.
So our lucky winner is number, because we numbered them. That would be a 6.
All right. 6. So our number 6 is somebody from the UK based on their email address.
Okay.
And the email address we received is kingofthemoon@hotmail.co.uk. So we will be sending you an email, King of the Moon. So congratulations, and sorting out what your super awesome anniversary prize is. So thank you for completing the survey, and thanks to all of you for completing the survey. And Kim, I do have the details of everybody's answer, so I will let you know that King of the Moon voted for Mary Shazam World War III.
Thank you.
I thought you would appreciate that.
That's funny.
Yep. So anyway, thank you, King of the Moon, for completing the survey. Watch out for our email from DDPodcast@dm-north.com, and we will connect with you about your prize.
Yeah. Congrats.
Congratulations, and thank you for participating. Speaking of participation, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
We had our happy anniversary game.
Yes.
And we had one person who actually won, but didn't win because it was Jordo.
Correct.
DQ'd.
He got DQ'd, yes. Sorry, Jordo.
Because
we still love you.
He's part of the channel. Although he did not know what the answer was. He did come up with it correctly, which was impressive. However, he did not follow the rules of the game. What were the rules of the game, Kim?
You had to email us your answers
at DDPodcast@dm-north.com. And how did Jordo tell us his answers?
He DM'd us in Discord.
Exactly, which you specifically said disqualified. So we have a person, and a person emailed us. And this person got some of the voices correct. However, this person is also the only person that emailed us to actually try. So we are going to award this to Andy May for listening to the episode, sending us an email, and getting 2 of the 5 correct. So in order, Kim, what were the people that said
Voices?
happy anniversary to us? What were the voices?
Okay. So number 1, the first one was Mike, aka Comics Mike,
which Andy got
number
correct.
2, yep. Number 2 was Ryan, aka Raw Travel,
which Andy also got correct.
Yep. Number 3 was Danny, aka Danica, I think. Sorry, Danica. Danny. Yeah. Which he got half right. It is a female. That's all he wrote.
But which was a start. Yep.
Number 4 was Nick, aka Jackalope Spam. And what did Andy guess?
Andy guessed Jordo ?
Yep. And the last was Rob, aka Rob_Al.
From Dice Station Zebra.
And Andy guessed
Jordo ?
So Jordo, you were loved in this.
Andy did say, he did say that the only one he knew for sure was Ryan. The others he wasn't so sure about, and he said he wished that the WDA worked into his schedule better, because most of these folks have played on the WDA, and that's where the voices had come from. So, yeah. He also, since we're here, he's shared that he did the survey. So thank you, Andy, for doing the survey, and he thanked us for, podcasting and creating audience engagement. So we really appreciate that. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy, and we'll be in touch with you as well for an awesome, cool mystery prize.
That's right. All the prizes. Amazing prizes. Prizes for everybody. Not prizes for everybody. Yep. Prizes for Andy and prizes for King of the Moon. So that, I think, finally will wrap our anniversary episode, Kim.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything left from our anniversary to do at this point.
No.
So now we just have to start figuring out what next year's anniversary is going to look like.
Yep.
So anyway, Kim, you mentioned something sinister at the beginning of the episode.
I did.
What sort of sinister things are we talking about?
I think he's a dude who's from a comic book, I think. I don't know. No, we have some exciting news. Well, we know that Secret Wars has changed the date.
That's right, and it's been moved up.
From May to
April 12th, which is right around the corner.
And that is pretty much confirmed
in North America.
It will be coming out. Yes, in North America. Hopefully our UK folks will get it soon after.
Yeah, there is a rumor through the distributor in the UK that I got from our friend collector Rob from Breath Weapon X, that it's due the first week of May there.
Okay.
So May 7th or something. So hopefully that date happens, because then they're only a few weeks behind North America, which would be amazing.
Yeah, which would be great, because I think they happened to get Superman before us when it came out.
Yeah, they got Superman before we did. So, but we have this on very good authority, Kim. We have this direct from a @whizkids.com email address that has confirmed not just the solicits were updated, but the actual set is due to arrive April 12th. So big thanks to our contacts at WizKids for reaching out and sharing some information with us, such as the date of the Secret Wars, and also something about this dude.
Yeah, named Sinister, supposedly. So if you have been paying attention to our socials, our dmNorth socials,
all of the socials, although I don't
all of our socials,
were they
every day.
Were they on TikTok? I didn't follow.
I don't know if they're on TikTok. I know it was on Facebook and Twitter and
Instagram.
Maybe Instagram.
And I put some of it on
TikTok.
I put some of it on Reddit.
Yeah, I think it was on Reddit. So it was pretty much all over. We'll have to double check the TikTok because I actually don't know. We dropped hints every day of a pixel art leading up to a spoiler.
That's right. So we pixelized, and by we I mean Jordo.
Our creative art department.
Yes, the intern Took the wonderful spoiler that our friends at WizKids have been so kind of us to send us of Mr. Sinister. You've heard it, you've seen it by now. It was officially revealed just before this podcast was released late last week, and we are happy to be the exclusive people to share with you that Mr. Sinister will be in this set, and we are sharing with you today the rare version of Mr. Sinister, and he is the Twisted Experimenter. So, Kim, I do have a little bit of background about Mr. Sinister from Secret Wars. Would we like to do a bit of a character in Dice Masters here?
Yeah. Except we're not doing a female. It's a male.
I know. It's a dude.
But it's all good. Yeah.
Yep. So Mr. Sinister in the Secret Wars storyline is the Baron of Bar Sinister. So if you play Marvel Snap, high fives. One of the domains of Battle World. Sinister ruled his realm, populated mostly by clones of himself with an iron hand. Aside from his clones, Sinister kept a few non-clone individuals as slaves, charged with servicing his exotic whims, which sounds a little bit, evil, maybe.
Is he evil?
They're slaves.
I guess he looks a little evil.
They're slaves.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's villain affiliated, Kim. Is he not?
Yeah, maybe. We'll find out when we get to the card.
So, in the Secret Wars storyline, Sinister and King Hyperion entered into a secret alliance aimed at against House Braddock of Higher Avalon, another domain of Battle World. When this alliance came to light, Sinister was charged with discord and summoned by God Emperor Doom's police force, the Thor Corps, and they brought him to Castle Doom and Doomguard to face his accusers. Sinister was accused directly by Baron Braddock of Higher Avalon and clashed with Baron Braddock's brother, Brian Braddock. Baron Braddock's brother, Brian Braddock. Say that 3 times fast. In single combat, Sinister was near victory when God Emperor Doom stopped the match, being well aware that Baron Braddock was actually conspiring against God Emperor Doom as well. Braddock was sentenced to exile, while Sinister remained unpunished. So later on, Captain Marvel, who was one of the survivors of Earth 616. So in case you didn't know, this Baron Sinister, Mr. Sinister, is from Earth 21919. So Captain Marvel, one of the survivors of typical Earth 616, was captured by Baron Sinister after Sheriff Strange. I can't talk. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sheriff Strange, aka Doctor Strange, scattered the survivors across Battle World from Earth. When Doom's rule began to become undone due to widespread revolution, he called on Sinister and his other chief barons to put the revolts down. Instead, egged on by Captain Marvel, Sinister decided to betray Doom. When the final battle began, Sinister turned on Doom's forces and personally killed Baroness Pryor. But the arrival of Baron Apocalypse spelled the end for Sinister, as he was decapitated and possibly killed when the Maestro's ship crashed into the battlefield. Sinister was presumably restored to life when Reed Richards restored the multiverse. So that's Mr. Sinister. And what we know about Mr. Sinister in Secret Wars, in Battle World, is that his powers are seemingly the same as those of Nathaniel Essex or Mr. Sinister of the regular Earth 616, and the same are his abilities in that particular way. So he is he's got genetic enhancements using mutant DNA. He's got superhuman physical condition. He is telepathic, and he can do fancy things with his telepathy. He's got he can use telekinesis. He's got genius level intelligence, and he's a geneticist. He's a master surgeon, a skilled mechanical engineer, and a master manipulator. So wow. All of those sound pretty conniving. So that was what happened. So he was a bad dude, and he ruled his domain with an iron fist, and most of his domain was just clones of himself, which is kind of weird, right?
Because you could do it.
I guess. I don't know. So anyway, and then egged on by Captain Marvel. High fives, Captain Marvel. We'll have to do a Captain Marvel episode at some point, Kim. So egged on by Captain Marvel, he betrayed God Emperor Doom, and then unfortunately was killed. So So yeah, so that's Mr. Sinister in a nutshell in the Secret Wars storyline.
All right.
So with that said, should we talk about the card?
Yeah. Do you want to do the ability?
Sure. So Mr. Sinister is a 5-cost bolt, and his stats are the same as what they are in the Dark Phoenix saga, which is 141, 252, and 263. And his ability is if Mr. Sinister would be KO'd, you may KO one of your sidekicks instead. I feel like that's very thematic because basically the implication is that the sidekicks are his clones, right?
Right.
So if he's going to be KO'd, you can just instead KO one of your sidekicks that's active. So that's pretty good because it's probably pretty easy to KO him. Like he's a 1-2-3 on his defense stat, but he's got some pretty decent attack stats. So
Yeah.
it's not so bad, and keeping him in the field would not be a bad thing until it's time to make that final strike. As mentioned, he's villain affiliated, and he also has a global, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it.
Pay, bolt, and mask.
Expensive global.
Each player chooses one of their character dice to take 3 damage.
I'm really interested by this.
It is really interesting.
Yeah. So first off, WizKids has learned from their what was I going to say? I don't want to use the word mistake.
You just used it.
No. WizKids has learned that generic energy globals are too powerful, I think. And the reason I say that is because the main version of Mr. Sinister that is currently being played is from Dark Phoenix Saga, right? Mr. Sinister, not Minster. I'm just typing things in. Mr. Sinister Dark Experimentation is the one that's being played right now. And his global is pay 2 generic, field a sidekick from your use pile, prep a sidekick from your use pile. And the fact that it's 2 generic just makes it super, super easy to execute. It doesn't matter what energy you roll. You could just use a basic action die on a 2 energy phase. And that's a really powerful global. So now they've come back to us and they've said, okay, this global is going to be a bolt mask. So he's a bolt character. And I kind of like the idea of the mask being the second one because masks are kind of like sneaky, right? Generally in Dice Masters.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like sneaky and he's portraying people. He's got all these clones and things like that. So it just feels very thematic that it's a bolt mask.
Hide behind the mask.
Yeah. And so there's lots of things that you want to KO in this game. So here's a way to KO something. Not quite as easy as perhaps as using the Dark Phoenix Global, which is just pay a bolt and KO one of your character dice. But 3 damage is good because it means that your opponent might have to KO something that they actually want in the field.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but it's also you have to do it too. So
yeah, but
you might be stuck if they global you.
Yeah, but if you put this on your team, if I'm building with this, I'm going to have stuff I want to KO or want to take damage, right? Think about, Kim, I'm going to talk about a format that is not modern. Are you ready?
Wow, you're going to go golden?
I'm not going back that far. But remember the good old Iceman? Right on schedule from the X-Men Forever campaign box. When he was in the attack step, if your dice took damage, he would deal 2 damage to your opponent.
Right.
So if he took damage, he dealt 2 damage to your opponent.
Yeah.
So in the attack step with Iceman, you could use this global, and you'd each pick a character that takes 3 damage, and then maybe you could redirect that damage. Doesn't the Wonder Woman global redirect damage?
I thought that was an action die global.
Wonder Woman, hang on.
Which one? The newest Wonder Woman?
Oh, that's just an action die. It's not a global.
Yeah,
sorry.
An action die,
I thought it was a global as well. So ignore that. But yeah, like you might be able to KO something that's blocking, that might get out of his way so that you can, push through for damage. Right? Who knows?
Who knows?
Lots of things. It's very interesting. It is a twisted experiment.
Sure is.
So yeah, so we did a as Kim mentioned on all the socials, we did this pixelated card, and each day slightly more pixels appeared and slightly more detail appeared in the card until Friday when the card was fully revealed. So by this time this podcast has come out, you'll have seen all of this information that we've just shared with you, and happy to be happy at DM North to be the people to share that Mr. Sinister's in the set. So thanks so much, and thanks to everybody who played along this week and guessed. There was no prize. There's no prize for guessing this card, aside from the satisfaction of knowing that you got it correct, and the very generic clues that we had put out for you. And this week, if you're listening to this episode, the week the podcast comes out, another card is being revealed. And I will not tell you anything else about that card, aside from the fact that you need to follow our socials every day and watch for the pixelated card and see if you can figure out which character it is.
Yep.
For no prize.
And make sure to go on the YouTube and check out the short, which puts it all together.
That's right. Absolutely. So huge thanks to our intern for putting all of this work together. And again, huge thanks to WizKids for sharing that with us. It's not a female character in Dice Masters, but he did kill a female character in Dice Masters. So
that was nice.
I don't know. Baroness Pryor, Madeline Pryor, she's evil. It's okay. It's a comic book. We move on. So thanks so much to WizKids for sharing that with us, and looking forward to sharing with you the second spoiler that is coming out your way this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Do you have anything to add on Mr. Sinister, Kim?
No. I mean, even though he's a villain, I think he's kind of cool.
I mean, villains are just misunderstood.
That's true too. Yeah. But
not always.
Killing,
sometimes they're dark and twisted, but maybe he's just misunderstood. Yeah. He has genius level intellect, so he's probably like mentally disturbed.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a thing that happens sometimes, like when you're too smart.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
That's cool. I'll believe you.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Sinister, if he be KO'd, you may instead KO one of your sidekicks, which AKA could be considered his clones. And yeah, the global is super interesting. So let us know how you would use that global ability. Do you have any ideas on how you would do it, either with something that's in the Secret War set that's been spoiled already, or something that you would do in current modern, or maybe something that would make that really extra broken in golden? I don't know. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you on that.
Awesome. Shall we do some upcoming events?
Let's do it.
All right. So our weekly Dice Arena still happens every week, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Visit the Discord, and there is a weekly Dice Arena channel that you can take a look in the format that's coming up. Also coming April 22nd is Roll for the North 3.
Woohoo!
Dun, dun, dun. This is number 3. Can't believe it. We've done 3 of these already. Very cool format. We're doing a 3 wishes plus, meaning there's a little bit more to it. There's a little bit more twisting to it. So do visit our website, dmNorth.com. And take a look at the article, read it through carefully, and hopefully we will see you there on the 22nd, which is a Saturday, and it's a one-day tournament online. So yeah, should be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I like this format a lot.
So can you talk a little bit about what limited wish or 3 wishes format means, Kim?
Yeah, sure. So speaking regularly, I guess, what 3 wishes is, you build your normal team. Sorry, you build your team as normal. You build your normal team. You build your team as normal. You have your 8 cards, basic actions, whatnot. But you do kind of have a 3 cards to the side that are usually a cost of 7+. So which means on your main team, you can't have anything that's 7 costs. It has to be 6 and under. Okay. And then your 3 wishes are your 3 cards that are 7+ cards. Now they can be anything. Usually we do golden. So it can be anything from golden from the beginning to now. What's special about these cards is you actually cannot purchase these cards. They must be wished in. And I can't remember what set it's from. It's from one of the old D&D sets. There's this die called Limited Wish. And the text on that is you roll the die, and then when you roll the die and you hit the face, you can roll one of your 3 wishes, which is the 3 cards. Pick a die, roll it. If it hits a character face, you actually put it in your used. And if it doesn't hit it, then it goes back to the card. So that's what the action die does. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So you're actually wishing your character in, and it can't be purchased.
And the Limited Wish is the rare from Battle for Faerun.
Battle for Faerun. Yep. Can I remember where it's from? It's a really cool looking die.
So
we've taken that format and made it a little bit more with a plus. So instead of 3 wishes, you're actually getting 5. And then we using the same die, the 3 wishes die. Obviously, you could proxy if you don't own this. You just use a regular basic action die, or you can use an action die that has similar. Actually, no, it has that 2 energy on all of them. I don't even know if they actually made any of those, but it can be proxied. No biggie on that.
Just use a different basic action color.
Yeah, color. Use yellow because it's yellow. I don't know. But yeah, so instead of 3, we're doing 5. And there's some fun little rules which I won't go through. So it's there's a lot. So make sure that you do read it. Still with 1 die on anything. You're still rolling your special die to wish them in, but we've changed doing things a little bit different. So if you're used to the 3 wishes, this is a little different. So make sure you read it. If you've never played it before, it is a really fun format. So if you take a look, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, and just on that note, Kim, there's we're not running this as modern, right? We're using a wider card pool than what current modern is.
Right.
For your team build.
It's from the campaigns team packs to now.
Yeah.
So what it was before the rotation?
That's right. Before the rotation that we had last year. So, but it is all listed.
Yes.
On the website. You can go check out the details on dm-north.com. And in addition to that, we are letting you know that Secret Wars will not be eligible to be played in this tournament, because although the release date is April 12th in North America, this is an online tournament, and we will not have everybody in the country or everybody in the world will have this yet. And who knows, right? There can always be last minute shipping delays or acts of God or whatever. That may prevent it from arriving on time. So we've decided that Secret Wars is not permitted in the event. And there are a couple of bans as well. So make sure you read through all of the information on the website over at dm-north.com on the Roll for the North page.
Yes. Read
all of it.
All of it.
And then
line by line, word by word. Reread it.
And then make notes and then read again. And then if you have questions, you can reach out to us and we will answer those questions for you before your team is submitted.
Yes.
Okay?
Just read. All right.
All right.
Other than that, that's Dice Social in April. We'll see. With the
probably unlikely.
Yeah, with the I can't say. I can't talk. With the 3 wishes, Roll for the North 3, there may not be one in April.
Yeah, and it's a fun time. It's not designed to be competitive. We're just really getting together to have a good time. So encourage everyone to come out and roll some dice.
What are you talking about? I'm going for my reigning here by winning in the next tournament.
Oh, I understand. Kim was on her competitive kick. Last night we were at the game store and I said and I don't know, what were you doing, Kim? You were playing Dice Master. You hadn't read your card. You didn't know how your card worked. And I was like, I just told Will, he's our game store owner, just recently, like just last night I was messaging with him and I told him that like you were a competitive Dice Masters player. You're like, I'm not a competitive Dice Masters player. I'm like, well, you compete. You went to Canned Nats when we had it.
Doesn't mean I brought competitive team. Actually, it was team up, so that's pretty.
It was pretty competitive.
Yeah. I might go silly. I think. I don't know.
The point is to have fun.
Yeah, silly, fun.
So if you are having fun and your opponent is having fun, then that is what we are looking for. Right?
Exactly.
So cool. All right. Anything else on the coming events, Kim?
Nope. We can go to the dice bag.
Dice bag it is. So we did get a little bit of feedback from this episode, and I'm going to start with the direct messages I received from our good friend Nick, aka Jack Loves Spam, and he says, Jocelyn, Queen of the Draft. Always getting the best cards, haha. Multiple rare Bizarro incidents, and now a super rare Master Mold. And that is in response to our episode 82, IRL Draft. So in that draft, if you haven't listened to that episode, I pulled a super rare Master Mold. And he then said, I have to add corrections to your claim or clarity to your claim of might never play the same 8 cards for the energized format. So currently in process right now is the 2-team takedown. It's almost finished, Kim?
Yes, that's right.
Right?
In the last round. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's almost finished, and the 2-team takedown version that we ran this time, that dm-north.com ran this time, was you built 4 mini teams. Each of them were a single energy type, and then you had to roll to create a combination of your team, and you had to win with both of those sets and then switch to the other one to get to your win.
Yep.
So you had to have a mask, a fist, a bolt, a shield, and then you have played various combinations of them. So I am not a math person. I can do math, especially if I have a calculator. I can work with formulas, and I know bed mass and that kind of thing, but I am not a mathematician to the level that our good friend Nick is, because Nick teaches math. So he says, if you win at least 1 game per round, you'd see a repeat team by round 4. This 2-team takedown will go 4 or 5 rounds, so there will be a repeat. Now, if you don't win games, it's possible you won't see a repeat. You'd have to lose 2 games in a row, keeping the same team instead of re-rolling. This will see fewer teams over the course of the tournament. And then he did the maths. The calculation for all possible combinations is 4 choose 2, which is 6 in total. If you win a game, you'll see 2 options per round because you are required to change. Thus, by the 4th round, you would need to repeat. However, if you lose both games per round and choose not to change your teams, you could go 7 rounds before you will definitely see a repeated team. Therefore, the probability to not repeating is rather slim the longer the tournament goes. So, as the tournament was set up as a 4-round tournament, regardless of the number of participants, most people will have seen a repeat version of their team by the time they got to the round 4. The 5th round is only going to be necessary for the winning championship if we have 2 4-0 players.
Correct.
Which I think we do, right?
Yes, it looks like we're going to have a championship round.
Yeah. So those 2 people will play, but there won't be any rounds for anyone else. We're done there. So
unless they want to play their games, but it won't count.
Yeah. So thank you, Mick, for doing the math for me, because that is not the type of math that I'm good at. And now we know. So that was that. We already talked to you about our email from Andy. And to round off this week's episode, we have a message from someone we haven't heard from in a while.
We do.
Right? Yeah, we heard from Craig.
Yes, we did.
Hi, Craig.
Hi.
We miss you. It was really nice of you to send us a note. Craig routinely comments on our episode posts at dm-north.com. And Craig has shared this with us today. He says, as an individual that would like to make the claim of being a double and dice enthusiast, which we really appreciate, Craig. Thank you. I was hoping to take the opportunity to provide what I would consider when drafting after listening to episode 82 IRL Draft. He says, first, please sit in the pod, which includes Jocelyn, after she has randomized the draft packs for distribution. The summary of the rare cards Jocelyn had to choose from and was able to select for her team was amazing compared to the honor roll mentions of the rare cards available in the other pod. The scale gets fully tipped after the one super rare, which is such a brute, is sitting safely in Jocelyn's pod, and the super rare in the other pod does not even warrant being played, which is a good point. Because that Angel,
what was it? It was Angel, and wasn't there another one?
There was Marcus had one, but I don't remember what it is right now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It wasn't a particularly good one. He says, well, I have only had 2 opportunities that I can remember to draft and play with Jocelyn, and both relied on me using the rare Shazam. Maybe that was all set up to be that way. If I could accurately remember, I should be able to say she was choosing a super rare to start and may have gotten decent other cards to support her game plans. You are correct. Craig, when we drafted the couple of times at Memphis, you used Rare Shazam against me both times, and both times I sat across from you, I opened a super rare. One of the times it was a bad super rare, and I passed it. And then
really?
the second,
Like Joker?
I think it was Doomsday.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I don't remember what Doomsday does, but
I think it was Doomsday.
okay.
Anyway, whatever, or it could have been Joker. I don't remember. It was bad. It was a bad. We could have to go back to the Memphis episode, and I think I talked about it. But it was bad super rare. And then when I opened my second draft pack, which I was not sitting across from Craig, I opened an identical draft pack. So at that point, I elected to pick the super rare, even though it was bad, because I was like, if I don't pick it, then it's just going to keep showing up for me. But when I sat across from Craig the second time, the super rare that I pulled was super rare Harley. So he says, there seems to be a pattern identifiable now. It is not random, but routine for her drafts. If I am blessed with another opportunity to draft with Jocelyn in a Superman Kryptonite Crisis set, and I end up with a rare Shazam, it will prove the magic is real. So thanks so much, Craig. It was really great to hear from you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again at an event so that we can draft. And I hope that my gift of magic drafting, of getting people awesome rare and super rare cards, continues. Hashtag Rare Bizarro. Which I passed in that draft.
It's not a bad card. The only thing that's a problem with Bizarro is it gives your opponent an opportunity to put a dice.
But it's in their use pile, whereas yours goes into your bag.
Yeah, so but if they have a good high cost card, it's easy. Like,
well, this is the thing. Like in that game against Craig, where he was playing the 7-cost Shazam, which has the range, gives all the dice range too. If I had kept the rare Bizarro in that pack instead of passing it, as I took the super rare Harley so that I could give it to Rob because he needed one. If I'd kept the Bizarro, then that would have just put the Shazam in Craig's bag, or in Craig's use pile, which he would have got to the range a lot faster, and I would have lost. I lost anyway, but it was harder.
Yeah.
I made it harder on him.
There you go.
But yeah, so anyway, thanks, Craig. It was great to hear from you, and we're looking forward to seeing you again in future and drafting some more. So, and that is the end of this week's Dice Bag.
Cool.
Anything else we have, Kim?
No, I think that's it.
All right. So, as always, your feedback is a huge part of our episodes, and we love to hear from you. So we'd love it if you could reach out to us, and you can find us in all of the usual places, which include, you can send us an email to dmDpodcast@dm-north.com, like Andy did. You can find us on Discord, like Jackalope Span did. You can @ us. I'm at JoceStitch, JoceStitch. Kim is at SuperK. You can also join the conversation in our Discord channel at dmNorthTV, and there's an invite in the show notes below. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at dmNorthTV. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/dmNorthTV. And you can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/dmNorthTV. So until next time, on a double and dice.